Hi students, welcome to our science class. Our chapter name is Light and Shadow. This is one new chapter. Take your textbook, term 2B, and this is the second chapter and it's on page number 85. Page number 85, our last part of textbook, and the chapter name is Light and Shadow. Light and Shadow. So, within this chapter, we are going to deal with what is light, what is shadow, how the light is produced, why this light. These are the things we are going to discuss. Before that, we are starting this chapter with one activity. So, the activity is this. Just enter to the room and off the light. It's night time. It's night. Our activity is off the light and close all the door, windows and door. Now, is it possible to see the things? There is no light. We already off the light and close the door, windows and door. So, my question is this, do you see the things? No, it's not possible. Not possible to see things. So, that is the thing. And when I on the light, what happens? Is it possible to see the things? Yes, you can see the things. Yes, it's possible. Now the question is this. Here, who is helping you to see the things? The helping thing is nothing but the light. Nothing but the light. So, we can say this light helps us to see things. That means you can see this paper, you can see myself. And how you can see? You can see this because of the presence of light here. When I off this light, it's not possible to see. No board, no paper, no teacher, nothing. So, actually, you are seeing this with your eyes, it's okay. But if there is no light, even if you have eyes, it's not possible to see things. So, for seeing a particular thing, some of the things are very important. One is your eye. And another thing is light. If there is no light and you have eye, no purpose is there. So, light is having very important role to see things. We are normally using this term light in our daily life. But how we can define this term light? What is light? That is the question. How we can give answer for this what is light? First we are going to study what is light. In our previous chapter we studied about different types of energy. There we studied about light energy. So, as the definition for light, we can study it as light is a type of energy or form of energy. Light is form of energy which produce sensation of sight. So, this is the definition for light. Light is the form of energy. That means it is a type of energy. We already studied different types of energy. That means light energy is there, solar energy is there, wind energy is there, tide energy is there. Like different types of energies are there. In the similar way, this light is also a type of energy. So, light is form of energy which produce sensation of sight. That means it produce sensation of sight means we are identifying this energy with the help of our eye. Eye and sight are related. So actually the sensation of sight is what? We are identifying it with the help of our eyes. This sight and eye are related. So we can say as the definition for light, light is the form of energy which produce sensation of sight. That means simply we can say it like that. To see an object, we are using light. This light is a type of energy which help us to see objects. That is the meaning of this definition. I hope it's clear for you. And we said that this light help us to see things. For example, this paper. You can see this paper with the help of the light present in this room. And how we can see this, how this light is acting and how this eye is the role having with this paper, light and all. Now we are going to discuss that. Very simple thing. For example, this is one flower pot and this is one flower. And sun is here. Sun is here. One flower pot and flower is there. And one child is standing here. One child is standing here. Now the question is this, how this child is seeing this flower? I already said that with the help of light, with only the help of light we can see this. Suppose we are going there at night and there is no moon or nothing is present. It's inside a room, a dark room, no light is there present. And is it possible to see by this child this object? No, if there is no light, it's not possible to see this object. So here we have sunlight and just observe the sunlight is here hit on our flower. Sunlight is hit on, this is one example, flower. This is paper. The light from the bulb hit on this paper. And now what happens? The light, this is actually the sunlight falls on flower. And then it is getting reflected. It is getting reflected. Reflected means bounce back. When I am hitting this hand, it is this bounce back, hitting and go back. So that is actually what? Reflection. Reflection. So the sunlight is first hitting on the flower and then it is getting reflected back to this person and the eye is here. This is the eye. So the thing is very simple. The light will come. This sunlight is only one example. Even if it's the filament lamp, tube light, LED lamp, anything, the one light source must be there. That light will hit on the object and then it will get reflected to the eyes of the person. And that's how we are seeing the object. Any type of object we are seeing with the help of the reflection of light. Reflection means light is coming, hitting back. That is this reflection of light. What about this light? I hope it's clear for you. Now, we said that it may be sunlight, it may be filament lamp, it may be tube light, it may be LED light. That means I am using different types of light sources. That means it may be candle light, it may be fire light. Like there are different types of light sources are there. Light sources. Light sources means the source which produce light. Source which produce light. So we can say light source is the source which produce light. Any type of source we can include here. And the thing is this, I already said that we have different types of light source. Actually, we can classify this light source into two. One is here and the second one is here. And which are the different types? One is natural source. Natural source. And the second one is artificial source. What is this natural source and artificial source? You can see it from the name itself. Natural source means the source which is made by the nature itself. There is no manipulations are done on that. That means no additions or no editing will happen on that by the human beings. So that is natural source. The light source which is produced by the nature itself. No editing. No manipulations are doing on this. And the artificial sources are what? The sources which is produced artificially by human beings itself. That is what? Artificial sources. The sources, the light sources which is produced by human beings or manipulated by human beings. That is what? Artificial sources. Now, which are the examples for these natural sources and artificial sources? Very simple. The natural sources are sun, stars. Sun, stars, all are natural sources. And some of the insects are there which produce light by their own. That means it is also, we are considering it as natural source. Which are they? That is fireflies and glowworms. These are the insects which produce light by their own. So, we can say the natural sources are the sources which produce light by themselves or by the nature itself. No manipulations, not produced by human beings. So, the examples are sun, stars, fireflies, glowworms, like that. And which are the artificial sources? Very simple. The artificial sources are these: tube light, CFL lamp, LED light, torch, candle, fire, etc. So these are the artificial sources. Tube light that we are using in the home, tube light, CFL, LED lamps, torch, candle light, fire light. All these things are produced artificially. Actually, you may think that this fire is natural. Actually, it's no. It is produced by human beings. That means we are just making some sort of thing and giving fire on that, and that's how it's getting burned, and so we can say it is artificial source. We are utilizing all these artificial sources in the absence of sunlight. That means we are utilizing the tube light, CFL, LED, torch and all in the absence of sunlight. Here you can see CFL is there, LED is there. What is the full form of this CFL and LED? That you just want to remember. What is this CFL and LED? Very simple. First, we are going to study the full form of CFL. The full form of CFL is compact fluorescent lamp. Compact fluorescent lamp. This is actually, you can see the diagram in your textbook. The light you can see like this. So this is what CFL, and CFL is compact fluorescent lamp. Compact fluorescent lamp. And the another one is this LED lamp. LED. What is this LED? Light emitting diode. This LED is light emitting diode. So just remember this full form of CFL and LED. So these are some different types of artificial light source. And this is all about this. And now we are going to study about another classification of object. In this world, we can classify the objects into two. I am going to classify the objects into two. One is luminous object, and the other one is non-luminous object. So it is very simple. The object is of two types, luminous object and non-luminous object. So what is this luminous object and what is this non-luminous object? Luminous objects are the objects which produce light by their own. Luminous objects are the objects which produce light by their own. Light produced by their own. That is luminous objects. And non-luminous objects are the objects which do not produce light by their own. So, within the word, all the objects we can classify into two. One is luminous object and another one is non-luminous object. This luminous object is the object which produce light by their own, and this non-luminous object is the object which do not produce light by their own. Two types of classifications. And which is the example for this luminous object? All the objects which produce light. That means sun, stars, bulb, candle. All these things are coming under luminous object. These all objects produce light by their own. And now, which is non-luminous object? The all objects which rather than this. That means this is one paper. Do this paper produce light by their own? No. So we can include this in non-luminous object. Paper, pencil, blackboard, chalk, book, textbook, box or duster, phone. Anything that do not produce light is what? Non-luminous object. And the object which produce light is luminous object. This is simple classification of objects. And so, we said that objects are of two types, luminous object and non-luminous object. Now the thing is this, how we can see this non-luminous object? I already said that this paper is non-luminous object. How you can see this? If I am off the switch for this light, is it possible to see this paper? No. So we can say non-luminous object we can see only with the help of luminous object. Non-luminous object only we can see with the help of non-luminous object only we can see with the help of luminous objects. That means with the help of sun, with the help of candlelight, with the help of bulb, filament bulb, CFL lamp, or like any type of things, we need a particular luminous object. If there is no luminous object, not possible to see non-luminous object. So, today we first discussed about light. What is light? Light is a form of energy which produces the sensation of sight. That is the definition for light. Then you just want to study some of the examples of the light source. What is light source? The source which produces light is called light source. There we discussed about different types of light source. That means there include natural sources are there and artificial sources are there. Natural source means the sources which is there itself made in the nature, and the artificial sources are what? The sources which is produced by human beings. And just remember the examples. Then we discussed about the luminous and non-luminous objects. Luminous objects means the object which produce light by their own, and the non-luminous objects are the objects which do not produce light by their own. Actually, for example, this is one ball. This is it luminous object or non-luminous object? It is non-luminous object. Non-luminous object. And here we have one sun. This is luminous object and this is non-luminous object. So, how we can see this? Normally we can see the sun. It produces light and we can see the bulb, sun, everything we can see. The luminous objects it's possible to see by our eyes. And it's not okay to see direct to the sun. It will damage our eyes. Don't do that. So, the thing is this light from the sun hit on this ball and it is getting reflected back to our eye and that's how we can see this ball. So, these all are the topics today we discussed. And you just want to read your textbook and also complete your notebook. I will ask any of the students to submit your notebook in the evening. So this is all about today's class. We will meet in the next class with the further topics. It's enough for today. Thank you.